water view, then the only thing you should be concerned about is where's growth going, not where rates are going or where other factors in the, for example, what's happening to the government policy framework, etc.
Does the RBI plan to gauge the impact of GST on inflation? What measures will RBI adopt to promote economic growth this monsoon? Find out with the Monetary Policy Analysis, only on ET Now.
I think you need to be passionate when dealing with people, and you need to focus on improving your knowledge on stock market. I think it's an exciting and passionate job, and the best part is you get to interact with clients and help them build fortunes.
I think the presentations were excellent. I think they were in-depth. A variety of topics that was covered is exceptionally good.
ये धमकियां देते हैं, आपके बच्चे को निकाल देंगे हम।
4-5 दिन से ट्राई कर रहा हूँ, पैसे हैं ही नहीं एटीएम पे किसी पे भी।
एक लड़की को इस तरीके से मारा गया है तो उनका सेफ्टी तो होना चाहिए।
इधर इतना कंजेस्ट ले रहे हैं।
प्रदूषण की वजह से इतना प्रॉब्लम हो रहा है।
डंपिंग हैज कॉज्ड लॉट ऑफ न्यूसेंस टू अस। बहुत सारी यहाँ पर जो बिल्डिंग है वो डिलेपिडेटेड कंडीशंस में है।
एचबीएस की जरूरत है। मिसमैनेजमेंट की वजह से दे आर गोइंग इन लॉस। पूरा गटर ऊपर का भरा रहता है।
वो बोलते हैं अंदर ओपीडी बंद है, अंदर ले रहे डॉक्टर लोग हड़ताल पे।
This is the fight. Your fight is our fight.
Mirror now. You first.
I think on demonetization and the money that came in, the banks went out of their way to reduce rates disproportionately because we didn't know how much of the money would remain. We are very proud, and I'm personally extremely satisfied that I did what I thought we should do as a company, using that as a platform to build a strong nation.
It is possible for us to protect the jobs of youngsters if the senior people were to make some minor adjustments.
Make the best gains in your investments with D Street's best analysts. Get the best market analysis every trading day. Exclusively on ET Now.
Markets may go high or low, but your blood pressure won't. Tata Salt Light, 15% low sodium salt that helps manage blood pressure.
Okay, let's look at the Greed and Fear Index halfway through the show, halfway through the trading day, and we are looking at the value of the Greed and Fear Index, indicating that the sentiment in the market is pushed towards green, or at least tilted towards greed as of now, and in the green zone. Dr. Mahajan joins in with his perspective. It's amazing how the market is attached to the 9670 mark, that level, so to speak, the last 2 days. Whether it was a fall from 9700 or whether it's biding time around this mark, it seems like the market has found its zone, so to speak, for now. Dr. Mahajan.
Well, yes, actually, Tanveer, yesterday when we finished the day, it seems like the market was maybe in a little bit of a mode to react from the recent set of upward movements, but then today it has made amends for that lapse by pushing up initially, almost reaching 9700 yet again. But it does appear that some bit of profit taking is happening consistently around 9700, pushing the index back ever so slightly. Now that is the key thing, that the selling which is emerging even at higher levels seems to be doing very, very little damage. And when that remains the situation, I don't think one has any business to think about any other perspective of the market other than being bullish on it. So every pullback, every dip that we get for intraday traders or for very, very short-term traders continues to present us with buying opportunities.
Okay, thanks for that. Let's shift focus then to a big ET Now exclusive. An NSE which has been without a full-time CEO ever since Chitra Ramakrishna quit in the month of December. They had named Vikram Limaye as the next chief in February. However, we understand that he has not been able to take charge due to the pending approval from SEBI. But there has been a much-awaited breakthrough in this regard. Vijay Iyer joins in for more exclusive details. Vijay, what are you picking up?
Pawan, what we finally understand is that there is a breakthrough. SEBI will give a conditional approval to the appointment of Vikram Limaye as MD and CEO of NSE, but he can take charge only after he relinquishes all his duties and responsibilities as a member of the Committee of Administrators, which is appointed by the Supreme Court. So clearly that was the whole issue or bone of contention, where market regulator SEBI was not comfortable, and exchange CEO, as exchanges are considered the first line of a regulator, also have to spend time for an assignment which clearly had no timelines fixed. So finally there is clarity emerging, and what we understand is that once the Supreme Court opens after the summer break in the first week of July, Vikram Limaye will resign and present his case before the Supreme Court, as this Committee of Administrators is appointed by the Supreme Court. Once he gets the clearance from Supreme Court and he relinquishes his duties and responsibilities from that COA for managing BCCI FS, he will take charge as new MD and CEO of NSE. As you're rightly pointing out, it's going to be close to 6 months now with no full-time MD and CEO, and even Vikram Limaye's name had been cleared by the board 4 months back, but because of this issue, SEBI was reluctant to clear his name. But finally, one hopes that things will be in place, and what those are indicating perhaps last week or a 4th week of July is when Vikram Limaye could be on board and take charge as new MD and CEO. So indeed, yes, market regulator SEBI will give a conditional approval to Vikram Limaye to take charge only after relinquishing his duties and responsibilities from the COA appointed Committee of Supreme Court.
Okay, very important story. Thanks very much. Change of guard, NSE to get a new MD. And Vikram Limaye might be the person trusted at this point. Thanks very much, Vijay, once again for getting us that story. Let's go across to Nikhil Mahajan, ED and CFO of CL Educate, joins in to talk about their business outlook. They've had a steady Q4, Q4 performance as well. Nikhil, great to have you on the show. Q4 saw consolidated top line growing in early teens. What has been the traction across key segments?
See, Q4 came after poor Q3. As you know, we are a B2C business where due to demonetization our Q3 was severely impacted. So in Q4 we saw some rebound happening in our coaching and the publishing business, though it happened only towards the last 2 months of the quarter. So I think the positive trend after a 90-day sluggish period from November to January is continuing into the coming year, and I think the coming year we should maintain a steady growth over the previous year.
And how is the enterprise consumer mix in favor of higher margins shaping up?
See, our consumer business obviously has a higher margin because that's a more B2C business, and on a full year basis, our ratio last year was about 62-63% for consumer and about 37-38% to enterprise. I think going forward broadly, this 60-40 ratio is likely to be maintained. So I think it could move a percentage points here or there, but broadly speaking, the 60-40 ratio is likely to be held.
And what kind of growth are you seeing in enrollment? What kind of uptick are you witnessing in fees and pricing?
See, pricing is, again, there are different segments which see a different movement in pricing, and there is also a business seasonality which happens. So different products actually see a different level of traction at different points of time. For example, this year, what traction usually begins in the month of April end got delayed because this year, as you would know, both the 10th and the 12th board exams had got delayed. And as a result, even their results of class 10th and 12th were delayed by about 15 days. So I think on a pricing front, the weighted average increase is likely to be 6-7%, where certain products like law could see a slightly higher uptick, whereas NBA could see 3 to 4% uptick.
Okay, and what would that mean for your margins? Because they have expanded. Also, what would that also result in terms of current utilization levels?
The margins broadly would remain more or less at the same in the consumer business at around 23-24%. Now the margins expansion will come as the proportion of the digital revenues, which currently account for something like 7-8%, see a larger grow into a significant portion over the coming 1 or 2 years. That will see an expansion in margins because digital revenues come with approximately 6% effective marginal profitability. Now, I don't see that the overall margins will see a very dramatic change, maybe a 50 basis point here or there, but broadly I think it should remain steady at that level.
Nikhil, thanks very much for joining us and giving us those details. Thanks for your insights. We'll take a break then. When we come back, full focus on the markets. We have come off a few points from the session. So now 96.37, the culprit is IT. We'll discuss that when we come back.
With ET Now. Never miss the day's big news stories with News First. Get the scoops from India's startup scene on Startup Central. Prepare your market moves for the next day with Smart Markets. The biggest business, political and economic headlines with India Tonight. A quick roundup of the 10 big stories of the day with Top 10 at 10. Make the most of the after hours with ET Now.
ट्रंक में भर के जंग, स्कूल को मारे बंक, कोई निकल पड़ा है। रास्ते में नो ब्रेक, कौन असली कौन फेक। Excuse me. प्यार के भोले पंख, लगा के फंकी फंक, कोई कूद कूद के फैल फैल के डूब डूब के तैर तैर के कोई निकल पड़ा है। देश विदेश आड़ा टेढ़ा, पेट भरे मन न भरता, बस में कोई बस ना करता। 3 स्टार 4 स्टार 5 स्टार, हाँ लाखों तारे देख यार।
हर यात्री अलग होता है और हर यात्री के लिए है यात्रा। फ्लाइट्स, होटल्स, होम स्टेज, हॉलिडेज, कैब्स, बसेस एंड ट्रेन्स, सबके लिए यात्रा.com, इंडिया का ट्रैवल प्लान।
Banking on the hope, a more efficient system, more tax buoyancy.
I would like the market forces with the best judgment of the entrepreneurs to take a call.
Next March, we will complete 40 kilometers per day.
It is going to improve customer experience of the railways.
India has to become a manufacturing hub.
The FIIs, by definition, do not run a business. They come in as investors.
Overall pool of revenue has gone up between 8 and 12% year on year.
Removing black money from the system is not an easy one.
Forecasting commodity prices is almost an impossibility.
Welcome back. You're still watching Market Sense right here on ET Now. Let's quickly get in Dr. Narayan to give his strategies to prepare for trade in the second half, largely led by IT. And we can bring up the intraday graph of all of the IT majors, either way flashing on the side.